My name is Rohana and I am the founder of Mummy Yoga. So today I'm going to talk about my favorite posture. And this posture is not my favorite because it makes me feel amazingly strong. It's not my favorite posture because it makes me feel really calm or flexible or this or that. Actually, it's not a posture that gets a lot of mileage in terms of the build up to it, but it's a beautiful posture for longevity. It's a posture that, just like brushing your teeth, if it became a habit, day in, day out, starting the day, ending the day with this posture, I guarantee you that when you're touching 100, 110, your spine will be supple, strong, movable. And that's why the rest of your body, your hips, your knees, your ankles, your elbows, your shoulders, think about any other joints that radiate out from the spine, will hopefully also be healthy. I'm talking about the cat-cow stretch. Fundamental, and I say this in class all the time, if there's one practice, one bit of practice that you take away with you, let it be the cat-cow. But like so many fundamentals, this can be done in a way that actually doesn't give you all those wonderful benefits that we've just talked about. It can even, I will even go as far as to say, sometimes the cat-cow is done in a way that can be detrimental to your health, particularly during pregnancy. So I'm going to do the cat-cow. As I do the cat-cow, I'm going to talk you through what to do and what, most importantly, what to not do, particularly during pregnancy, and why. So let's get right to it. So you might have known, or you might have never seen the cat-cow. The cat-cow is in a sort of a tabletop position where you're down on your hands and you're down on your knees. Now, I hope you can see my feet. My feet are on the top. They're not tucked under. So that gives me a nice flat base. Now, there's no reason why you can't press into the tops of your feet whilst you're doing the cat-cow. But do stay, if everything is healthy and there's no contraindication, then do stay on the tops of your feet. Before we go anywhere near the cat-cow, even in class, even after years in class and people coming to my class for years, they hear the basic instructions of a cat-cow every single time. It's repeated, because without these set of instructions, the cat-cow might not be beneficial at all. And as I said, it can actually damage you over a long period of time. So the basics. Like any hands down position, let your fingers be spread out, let your palms and your fingers get as much contact with the mat as possible. So try not pulling your fingers away and creating a gap, because the more contact you have, the more your body weight can be stable. If your wrists are healthy, then stack them perpendicular to your palms. The other way to also hold yourself, if you don't want that break, that L shape into your palms, which can be quite intense on your wrist, then you can do this neutral version. So you can have your thumbs in or you can have your thumbs out, doesn't really matter, but you're placing, so the whole weight of your body is going straight down. So that's okay too. I'll just do the traditional version. And here, your wrists, I'm assuming that your wrists are healthy. That's when you're stacking your elbows and your shoulders right on top. So we're creating like a sort of a perpendicular line to the floor. Once you've got that, then once again, we need to create, this force is going to go straight down. The force of your body that goes across. So we're creating like a bridge, if you like. So from this palm, running up, across your shoulder blades, down the other arm. Now that can be created and created well, and you can hold it better than if your neck is all into your shoulders and your shoulder blades are all coming in together. So whenever you're thinking about this posture, think about your shoulder blades spreading. The more you can spread out, the more the force across your body can spread out. And the easiest way to do that, as you breathe out, roll your shoulders back. And the way to know what you're doing is right is to see what's happening at your elbows. So your elbows are not turned in and facing your thighs. They start to face each other. And in some cases, depending on your range of movement, you can have your elbows facing, sort of going forward. Here. So we'll do it again. Rolling the shoulders out, elbows turning outwards, and now dropping the shoulders and lifting the neck to create space. So this is sort of slumping in and letting the head and the neck all slump into the shoulders. Look at that space you get when you lift off. And keep your neck neutral so there's no need to kind of strain your neck. Now let's look at the knees. So let the knees be right under the hips, once again creating a straight line. So your hips are not further back or certainly not forward. And your thighs look like they're going straight down, more or less. If you're pregnant, you can have lots of room between your knees to accommodate your bump. Your baby's head might be in between your legs by the end of your pregnancy. So kind of give yourself enough room to feel comfortable. Then again, as I said, you're on the tops of your toes. So this is what the starting position looks like. My shoulders are rotated out and my neck and my shoulders have lots of space. My neck is neutral-ish and my knees are right under my hips. My feet, my lower leg and my feet are parallel to each other rather than my feet coming in. So once we are in this position, then we go into the cow. I like to breathe in as I go into the cow, only because I'm thinking of my breath into my chest. If you are thinking about your breath into your back, as your lungs open into your back, you can reverse this breathing pattern as well. So we'll go with the inhale into the chest visualization. As you inhale, now as you start to draw your shoulders back, so it's not only turned out and down, now you draw them back. As you're drawing them back, your neck starts to look neutral. So your gaze is where the floor meets the walls. You're not trying to look up. And this is where I see a lot of people make that error. They try to look up, right? So you want that gaze sort of neutral. So breathing in. Now what happens at the tailbone part of the spine? So the whole spine. Now what you don't want to do is create like a U shape with your neck going up. This is what not to do. So your neck is looking up, your tailbone is pointed up, and now if you have a big bump under you with your tailbone tilting upwards and your bump pulling your body weight and your lower back weight down, you create a super high pressure point here that with any sort of old history of bad back, it just gets worse. So what I want you to do is, if you've ever been doing cat-cow by tucking the tail, this is what cat-cows can look like, right? When no one's watching, or it's a class where cat-cow is not sort of given a lot of importance, I see this all the time. Tailbone tucked out. How? That already felt very bad. So what I'm going to do now is do it the right way. So my neck goes no further than the neutral point, but I'm concentrating on my shoulders. Neck is just something that you want to just move very slightly. The cat-cow is not at the neck, it's at the shoulder and the upper back where the spine ends, really. So the cat-cow where the shoulders, so think about your shoulders drawing, they're already turned out and they're already sort of lots of, they're lower than your neck. Now draw them back the same way. Draw your tailbone back, not tuck it up. So you kind of imagine that the tailbone's going behind you. So it's a gentle draw backwards, tailbone back. Now as you do a cat, a Marjari, where I try to breathe out here, and I can use my Ujjayi breath or anything that makes my breath my exhalation longer. So you can do it by blowing your breath out or by just constricting your throat into an ujjayi breath. So as you breathe out, now tuck your chin right in. This is the point where you think about your shoulders as well, and let your shoulders come in. So you're closing that gap. And again with the tail at the same time, your tailbone comes in and you start to lift in your middle back, creating a deep arch. You're visualizing that your tailbone and your forehead are going to meet under you. The deeper your arch, the more space you create between each and every vertebrae, letting the blood flow beautifully through into middle and all through your spine, taking away with it all that stuck up metabolic debris that over time, if it doesn't clear out, gets calcified. What I mean by that is the little debris that is no longer needed, or it's just it's like a scratch in in one of those pearl things, and then around it comes, and all the calcium just sort of binds around it. Now calcium is a hard substance, so if you've got your spine and you've got all this stuck up waste that doesn't get cleared off around your spine, this calcium will come and stick around that waste, because it's not a good idea for the waste to kind of just be there. So that's the body's mechanism of protecting it by calcifying around it. The problem with calcium is it's so hard. So over time your spine starts to get hard bits. That's what makes the spine so stiff. This is why I say cat-cow, just 2 or 3 cat-cows in the morning, 2 or 3 cat-cows in the evening will just help release the spine, get that blood into the spine, create space. So when you go into the Marjari and your spine is completely spaced into the place where there's fluid movements, and all that metabolic debris can be taken away, there is no calcification around it. That means the spine doesn't get stuff and immovable as you go away. And most importantly, remember about the tailbone, that you taking the tailbone behind you when you are into the cow, so that you're not creating these high pressure points with your bump and your tailbone and that little lower back. Protect that little lower back. Try it. See how you feel with this new way, if you've always been tucking your tailbone up or doing it anything different, particularly the bits on the shoulders that I've shown you. And write me a comment about how it feels different, or why it worked for you or it didn't work for you, and we can get some good discussion going. Thank you for watching, and sorry that we've gone a few minutes over 10 this time, but I just wanted to make sure I got all the points in. See you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.